What's up, everybody? It is Monday, February the 8th, and we have an 8-game slate today. Oh, man, it's going to be a crazy slate. We already got some news that's broken through for the day, some pretty big, significant news, but let's hop right into this breakdown today. We got the Houston Rockets versus the Charlotte Hornets. Over under here is 222. Christian Wood's out today. That's the big injury news report for the Rockets. Making DeMarcus Cousins, I think he's the biggest beneficiary of Wood being out. He is in my core plays, my only player that is in my core right now. He should get about 30 minutes and be very productive here in this spot. And then when we go to the Hornets side of the ball, Devontae Graham is listed as questionable. So Cody Zeller and Gordon Hayward, the only two players that I'm really liking from this team. Gordon Hayward scored at least 20 points in 4 out of his 5 last games. So his $7,600 price tag and $7,900 price tag may come off as a little bit too cheap today at very cheap ownership. But going down to this Toronto-Memphis game, Toronto Raptors are 2-point favorites versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Over under here is 224.5. OG Anunoby's out for the Raptors still. All the price tags are very expensive from the Raptors. They had a game against the Brooklyn Nets, and their price tags haven't really changed since that game. Chris Boucher is the only person that I really kind of like, $5,900. I think his price tag is finally creeping up from that 4K range from last week, but I think he's in play all the way up into the mid 6K range. So I might have some shares of Chris Boucher and some GPPs today. On the Grizzlies side of the ball, Brandon Clark and DeAnthony Melton are out. Overall, I don't want to play anybody from this team, so we're just going to skip right through and talk about this Washington-Chicago game. Chicago Bulls are 2.5-point favorites versus the Washington Wizards, who are on the second game of a back-to-back here. Over under here is 236, highest point total of the game, best game to attack for props. We may be getting some more value from this game because this is a second half of a back-to-back. Russ doesn't really play too much on a second half of a back-to-back, so that's something definitely keep your eye out in the news for throughout Twitter and stuff like that to see if Russell Westbrook's going to play for the Washington Wizards. On the Bulls side of the ball, Otto Porter Jr. is out. Larry Markkinen is questionable. The Bulls are one team that you really want to attack today for value. If I had to rank my favorite Bulls players, it would probably go Zach LaVine, Kobe White, Denzel Valentine, Patrick Williams, and Thomas Satoransky. I feel like you need at least one Bulls value guy in your lineup tonight. But let's go Warriors and San Antonio Spurs game. Spurs are 1.5-point favorites. The Golden State Warriors are underdogs here coming into this game. Over under here is 233, second highest total of the day. Warriors injury report, same as usual as last week. James Wiseman, Kevin Looney out, and Eric Paschal is listed as questionable. If I had to pick 3 guys from this team, it would probably be Andrew Wiggins, Stephen Curry, and Kelly Oubre. I really like Andrew Wiggins' price tag across the websites today. $6,600 on Fanduel and $6,400 on DK. Andrew Wiggins feels like a little bit too cheap here in this matchup. I kind of like this matchup against the Spurs here for Wiggins. Stephen Curry also as well. He could definitely break out. Curry is just going to do Curry things. But at $10,100, you're going to need some peripherals to really pay off that price tag. And then we have Kelly Oubre also at $6,700. Feels a little bit too expensive. Andrew Wiggins has finally caught up to the same exact price tag as Kelly Oubre. I usually like Kelly Oubre a little bit more than Andrew Wiggins, but that's always because he has a cheaper price tag and about the same exact production. But now the websites kind of have them priced all around the same range. So I kind of lead towards Andrew Wiggins. I kind of like this matchup for him against the Spurs today. The Spurs are definitely one team that you have to keep on a lookout for, a team that we're going to attack for value today. Well, Marcus Aldridge is out, so that really pops up guys like Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, DeMar DeRozan, and Dejounte Murray. The only fear that I have about Jakob Poeltl here in this spot at $5,800 over there on FD is the fact that I can see this game really going small. The Warriors are kind of out without a couple of their big guys. Last week they played the Mavericks, for example, and Luka Doncic was taller than every active player that the Warriors had. So that just shows the type of height problems that they're going to deal with. So I really think this game can go really small. Pop usually runs out some weird lines. So we can definitely see some Rudy Gay getting a boost amount of minutes here. So his $4,000 price tag on FD seems very intriguing today. But let's go over to this Minnesota and Dallas game. Just talked about Dallas a little bit. Dallas is 9.5-point favorites here, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Over under here is 224.5. We're waiting on the injury T-Wolves report. D. Russ and Honcho Hernan Gomez are both questionable. So I don't really know what we're going to do too much with that. If Russell is out, that really pops up a guy like Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt, but we're kind of have to wait on that news. We're not going to get that news until 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I just definitely want to note that one. Mavericks, though, the Mavericks are way less desirable on this slate. They played a lot of minutes last week throughout their games, so I think this is kind of like a mini rest spot. And my favorite Maverick players are actually going to be really off the radar today. My two favorite Maverick players are going to be Dorian Finney-Smith, as you can see right here. I have this sorted on dailyfantasyfuel.com. It's a free optimizer to use if you're running single entry or 3 max. They're really liking Dorian Finney-Smith. $3,700. He's looking like one of the best value plays of the slate, but I don't think he'll get the ownership. It's so weird with the value play. Sometimes you kind of want to circle the value plays that pop out earlier in the day. So when you get later on to the night after all the injury news, you can kind of revert back to the earlier value that's going to come at less ownership. But Maxi Kleber, I really like Maxi Kleber in this spot, $4,200 and then $4,500 on DK. I really think he's warranted for a single entry GPP. He's going to be under 10% owned, should get some blowout run here in this spot. And the Timberwolves front court is really bad. But let's talk about this next game, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns are 7-point favorites here, 214 over under. And man, unless something changes with some COVID stuff, man, I do not want any parts of this game. The only thing that I really like from this game is over here on FanDuel. Andre Drummond, $7,200. It seems like a pretty cheap price tag, especially in a game that could definitely be close. And then if you're looking for player props, one player prop lean that I haven't looked at the prop yet, but I know I was hammering this prop over the weekend during that UFC event, was Devin Booker under 4.5 assists. I don't know why they keep on posting that 4.5 assists, but if it's still up there today, I'm definitely going to hit that one. Let's check out the chat. What up, Big Show Picks? Said Billy out here grinding. Shouts to Big Show. You see that background right behind me? This nice little background. That's all because of Big Show Picks. Make sure you give him a follow over on Twitch. Pub Sports Radio is where you can find him at. Robert Kahn says Johnson's a baby Kawhi. Yeah, Johnson's definitely a baby Kawhi. I'm a big fan of Keldon Johnson. And Green's taking all the assists, but man, his price tag today, he's going to have to like actually score points to pay off a $7,000 price tag on both websites. But let's talk about the last two games of the night, because I feel like the last two games of the night are very intriguing here. Milwaukee's 4-point favorites going into Denver. Denver over under here, 233.5. This is a huge over under for both teams here. This is going to be a very high scoring game, a game that you want to get a lot of studs out of this game. Chris Middleton, $7,200, Giannis, $11,200, and Dante DiVincenzo if you're looking for value for this team. I think this game really raises my appeal because you kind of want to backload these COVID slates and stuff like that. We're not really getting a lot of injury news before the game unless it's like an East Coast game. And in that last game, OKC versus LA Lakers, I feel like a lot of wonky things are going to happen. So you need to really circle this game because this is going to be the last game before the 10 o'clock solo game. So if you don't get the news before that game, that 10 o'clock game, you're really going to have to make some decisions earlier on in the day and figure out what you want to do with your lineup. That's just my random advice for you for how I've been playing these COVID slates. But Denver Nuggets, though, really like this team today. $4,800 for Will Barton seems like a pretty good price tag. Gary Harris still out. Michael Porter Jr., $5,200 and $6,100. Michael Porter Jr. is really going to pop up because the Bucks let up a lot of threes. Michael Porter Jr. is arguably the best three-point shooter on the Nuggets. And then we got Monte Morris as potential value as Jamal Murray is questionable. $4,200 and $5,100 for Monte Morris. Monte Morris become my favorite value play if Jamal Murray were listed to be out, but we're not going to get that news before the slate starts. Hopefully we might get it at that 5:30 East Coast report, but I don't think we are. But overall, though, if I had to pick two players from this team that I really want to get a lot of, it's going to be Monte Morris and Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic went off for 50 real-life points in the same exact kind of scenario with all these Nuggets players being out over the weekend. And maybe some people didn't play the NBA slates over the weekend because of the different UFC stuff and then the Super Bowl and stuff like that. And Nikola Jokic, man, he's on a hot streak right now. Definitely looking at Jokic overs today. In the last game of the night, we have the OKC Thunder versus the LA Lakers. LA Lakers 9.5-point favorites. Took this video a little bit longer to get up today because as soon as I woke up and got through my injury news stuff, man, Anthony Davis is out. So that kind of changes the whole entire landscape of the slate. We'll talk about the Thunder injury news report a little bit more. Theo Maledon, Mike Muscala, George Hill, Isaiah Roby, all out. They're dealing with some COVID health protocol problems. So the three guys that are really popping out for me on this team is Kyron Rich Williams, small forward position, $4,400. Lou Dort, I'm just going to say Lou Dort, leave it at that, $4,500. And then Hamidou Diallo, $6,200. Pretty interesting to see if people are going to go to Diallo. He's one of the most popular players from last week's slates, just because of his price tag. Now he's got to bump up in the price tag, so the ownership's going to come off of that a little bit. But I kind of like the spot here. I think this game has the potential to blow out, hence why they're going to rest Anthony Davis. But you never know with these Lakers sometimes. On the Lakers, though, injury news report, Anthony Davis is the big one, like I keep on reiterating. The guys I really like from this team is LeBron James, $10,800 and $10,500. He might go overlooked today, even with Anthony Davis still being out. But I think the three guys are a little bit more safe for your bang for your buck is going to be Dennis Schroeder, $5,400 over there on FanDuel and $5,700 on DK today. And then Kyle Kuzma, who is the cover boy today with the palm trees behind him, $4,900 and $5,200. Kyle Kuzma should get the start today and won't really be affected by blowout run or anything like that. Kyle Kuzma seems like the best play of the slate. And then Montrezl Harrell also as well, $5,200 and $5,300. I think over there on FanDuel today, you can get a little bit different and get away from DeMarcus Cousins and Andre Drummond and go down to Montrezl Harrell around that same exact price range. Not really Drummond, who's at $7,200, but you get what I'm saying. But that's really the overall landscape of the slate. We're not going to do a prop bet of the day yet because there's a lot of injury news we're just really waiting on. And I don't want to take a prop too early in the day. But make sure if you want to know what prop I'm going to play today, make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. All my social media is in the description links down below. But if you're looking for a book, make sure you use MyBookie.ag, promo code PUPSPORTS for a 50% bonus on your cash deposit. Must be a minimum of $100, and then 100% bonus on Bitcoin must be minimum of $100. So overall, man, that's really just a breakdown of the slate. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you get notified for all Pup Sports Radio's live videos, and that's really overall. Make sure you keep up on those injury news reports. These COVID slates have been getting absolutely murdered by injury news reports. You think you have one landscape of the day, and then bang, 4 or 5 injury reports come out, and then it changes the whole entire landscape of the slate. So make sure you really keep up on top of that. Then if you need a free optimizer, use that dailyfantasyfield.com. Really good for single entry, cash games, and 3 max lineups. But I'm about to head on out of here. Have a great, safe, blessed Monday.